If a woman is too attractive, men often run away, or they choose not to approach her as they will be rejected. But what if I told you that there's a way in which standard or ordinary men can get their way and make women fully addicted to them? Granted, this does take a lot of effort from your side to fully understand the psychology behind it, but it is worth it. The key word that you're looking for when you see that hot babe you want to approach is social skills. And whenever you get to know how the social dynamics work, you'll be able to recognize patterns. Scarily, you will realize that people are not that different after all, and many just follow the same pattern of life they always do. But how do you learn the right social skills? Well, we have used the power of psychology to analyze some of the patterns, which have made it that much easier to better understand their minds and predict some of the behavior. The 9 following social skills are what makes ordinary men seem extraordinary. But how does psychology tie into this? Psychology and social skills. If you were looking for clear-cut manipulation tactics, you might see yourself fail time and time again. You see, unless you are a psychopath by nature, manipulation is incredibly hard, and using social skills is much better. The psychological connection that this has with social skills is most geared towards some form of ambiguity. Instead of being yourself, you need to be able to read the crowd, and once you better understand the crowd, you'll be able to tailor your approach to what is demanded. And this is where people see some similarities and build rapport. Yes, rapport is possibly the most important part of the process, and if you can learn to build some good rapport with people, you will find dating that much easier. Fortunately, this video will give you 9 solid skills that will be functional in almost every social situation, and should make your dating experience much easier. In fact, you might actually find that some of the girls you use these skills on can actually become very addicted to you. So let's dive in. Number 1, growth mindset. When it comes to growing, women often want to see things bloom, and every woman wants to know that the guy they're interested in does have some form of future. This means that women actually seek a man who is going somewhere, and this gives her an indication of whether or not he is ready to be in an actual relationship. You see, a man who is going places is also very attractive to most women, but this now does beg the question of how you can apply this in some of the social situations where you actually just need to get to know the other person to ensure that things can actually work out. Well, the best way to go about this is to integrate some of your plans into the conversation. The moment she realizes that you have some great plans, you'll have all of her attention, which means that she truly becomes invested in the situation and the conversation. Now, you want to make sure that you can actually go through with this and not that you are some form of Barney Stinson pulling a scam. Yes, being fake does occasionally work, but it doesn't allow you to create that solid foundation and can really mess with your mind over time. So the goal is to make sure that you have some plans and some incredible ambitions as a way of trying to show her that you have a well thought out future. Number 2, show off your knowledge a little. Obviously, those around you have been telling you to always remain humble and not to allow yourself to show off some of your knowledge, but this is often a mistake. Now, before I explain this, you need to understand that there is a time and place for everything, and nobody likes a know-it-all whose primary goal is to create tension and conflict. However, women are all seeking a highly intelligent partner, and in many cases, this refers to how they can navigate the world. Since women are automatically smart in most cases, she would want to make sure that the man she likes can also muster up the knowledge to survive in life. One social skill that many men use and have some great success utilizing is imparting some of this knowledge to those around them and making them feel like they know something that the other person doesn't. However, this is not done arrogantly, but rather as a way of increasing the curiosity from the other side. If you find yourself in a situation where this can be done, you should revel in this and try to be the smartest person around. As arrogant as this sounds, it is very similar to traditional bad boy tactics, but it also works, and women do find such a man very attractive. Number 3, leaving her wanting on a high note. One of the worst things you can do is to indulge in drama and social negativity. You see, this leaves her with a final memory of you in a negative light. Now, many men fall into this trap when they don't get what they want, and ultimately ruin their chances with a woman. However, older men have learned that everything takes time, and patience is truly a virtue they should understand. Since you are playing the long game, you understand that not everything happens on the first date. Men use this to their advantage when the date is finished and leave her wanting more. By showing class and dignity, you immediately set yourself apart. This can be as simple as not giving her a goodnight kiss or expecting anything physical. Perhaps a little bit of flirting to just leave her wanting more the next time. The power of this also hinges on what is called delayed gratification. And if you truly manage to understand the full value of delayed gratification, you'll notice that it does yield some impressive rewards for everyone along the line. You want to be the one occupying her time when you're not in her presence. And this is one of the best ways in which you'll continually be able to make women actually fall in love with you. Number 4. Talk about your accomplishments. One of the big things that are often hindering many men in modern relationships is the emphasis that has been placed on being humble. You see, as a man, you are told from a very young age that you should never brag about your accomplishments and you should always try to be the better person. But this doesn't really get you anywhere if you haven't noticed. You see, talking about your accomplishments shows that you've actually accomplished something and not that you are simply just another human being floating through the space-time continuum. But there's a catch, and when we tell you to talk about your accomplishments, we are talking about just mentioning them and not fully bragging about them. The thing you want to do is create some form of curiosity and have the other person ask you some questions. Once you manage to entice them to ask you a couple of questions, you can branch out on the topic, and this will allow you to look good. However, if they don't, it'll at least be stuck in their head that you're someone who does go out and accomplish things in life. Whenever a woman, regardless of age, comes across a man who's actually accomplishing things in life, she will immediately gravitate toward that energy. In many cases, the energy required for this is incredibly positive, and women truly admire this. Now, this does require some extensive work from your side, and you will need to put in some extra effort to make sure that you can be this kind of guy. Too many men just don't care enough in the modern world to actually make themselves into something worth dating for women. Number 5. Maturity. When you grow older, you learn to deal with problems and drama more maturely. Women often tend to stick to gossiping and complaining about their issues. However, you should show your maturity and not indulge in gossiping and other dramatic behaviors that are expected from youngsters in their 20s. There's plenty of confidence in accomplishing things, and this generally comes more to the forefront as you truly grow older in life. However, aside from accomplishing things to make women addicted to you, you can also add the power of stoicism to the fray, and this completely changes up almost everything. By adding some stoicism to your personality, you will seem indifferent and often also enigmatic. Regardless of the age of a woman, this remains highly attractive, and she might even start obsessing over you. It is very similar to a murder mystery someone's trying to solve. You should reveal bits of information, just enough to keep her invested and working for the rest. However, be careful not to be fake stoic, as women tend to be highly intuitive, and if you become a fake version of yourself, she will most likely see right through this. This could significantly harm you down the line, and you might need to find a pivot point. It's best to only be yourself, and to slowly add these stoic traits as part of your natural life. In all essence, the more mature you become, the more dependable you will seem to women. Once you become one of the most reliable people in her life, who hasn't found himself in the friend zone, you will be the one she's attracted to. Also, keep in mind that it's important for you to not become her best friend through your maturity, but to still keep your distance and fully avoid this trap. Number 6. Taking care of yourself and your body. For this one, we recommend that you get comfortable, as this is perhaps one of the most important parts of making women addicted to you in real life. You see, regardless of what anyone tells you, women still respond to a guy who's in peak physical shape, and even more if it is someone they can call hot. Now, this is the hard truth and reality that many men don't want to realize, but it is also something holding them back significantly in a relationship, and this is why. You see, the way you look tells the story of who you are, and if you're someone who takes care of yourself, the chances of you being a healthy individual are also much higher. Not only do women care about health, but you are probably strong, and you can protect her. This is how it's viewed from a woman's point of view. Once a woman realizes that you look good, she will also understand that it doesn't come easily, and that you've probably put in tons of work and effort in the gym to actually make this possible, which automatically creates a level of respect for you inside her mind. This doesn't mean that you should go and become the next Phil Heath, but rather just that you need to put some effort into making sure that you look good and seem healthy. Regardless of what anyone tells you, there will always be a market for men who take care of themselves and try to operate whilst they're in the best possible condition. Also, there's nothing harmful in staying in shape, and the only thing that could become a problem is time. However, we recommend that you actually prioritize working out and staying in shape. It'll pay tons of dividends in the future. Number 7. Not showing insecurity. The modern world has gravitated toward more and more men who tend to be insecure. Instead of trying to be the men of old, they have been taught that it's okay if they show their feelings and reveal their weaknesses. Now, this is something encouraged by psychology as a way of making sure your mental health is much better, but it is not something women biologically desire. You see, women want a man that can actually fight the battles and protect his family, without complaining and without showing weakness. However, the modern world does make it much harder for people not to show some of this weakness, and this is why they all seem to falter once the going gets tough. However, this one also ties in with stoicism, and whilst we're not encouraging you to change in any way, shape, or form, it might just be a little better if you can learn to hide your insecurities. Men who have the best success with women often come across as being much stronger mentally, and they tend to focus on their successes instead of their weaknesses. In fact, women will actively try to bring out as many of your weaknesses as they possibly can, and this is where many men often fall down this very slippery slope. Your goal is to focus on becoming strong for yourself and learning how to deal with and overcome some of the anxiety that often plagues the world and makes men weak. We recommend that you make sure you have a band of close friends that you can talk to about some of these personal issues, and you'll notice that it becomes easier. Now, you have your male friends to talk to about these things, and it makes it much easier than having to talk to women about it. Just a final thing to keep in mind as well, women will always seek the emotional side, whereas your male friends can give you logical and far more pragmatic advice. Number 8. Being decisive. One of the defining traits of maturity is the ability to be decisive. You have experienced far more than many youngsters, which gives you experience, and women love this. However, many men use this to their benefit by making decisions without hesitation, which shows plenty of confidence on the side of the man. One example of this can be choosing the location for the date. Whereas many men will be very attentive to how she feels and what she wants to do, a decisive man will make a decision and stick to this. In fact, this does show subtle signs of authority as well, which tends to be a very welcoming trait for women. Nowadays, men have slipped into such a realm of mediocrity that women have to step up and make some of the important decisions for them. However, once you put your foot down and make these, it'll show her something important. Yes, it shows her that should a time come when an important decision needs to be made, you have the confidence to take the lead and make it. It shows that you are empowered and in control. You might have heard many women say that they want a man who knows what he wants. Well, this is the perfect opportunity to show her. By now, you might have noticed how all of these points actually tie into one another, and they all rely on the fact that a man has chosen to grow up and do things that actually advance the state and the quality of his own life. If you learn how to be decisive with things in life, you will find that you will accomplish them much faster, and in general, your overall life will be more thriving than anything else. Number 9. Body language. Finally, the one social skill that will set you apart from every other man is your body language. If you're older, it is safe to assume you have some dating experience and you might have been on a couple of dates before. This should give you confidence to have calm and confident body language that shows that you're not a beginner with this. Once you realize that you're not a beginner anymore, you can become more confident in how you interact with her. You also realize that you have absolutely nothing to lose, which removes most of the pressure. Master your body language on dates. You will always have the option of a second date. Body language is one of the most essential parts of life, and you will notice that once you study it, you'll also become a far better person at reading others, and this is where things are fun in life. Once you manage to gain such an edge over others, you can tailor every situation, and in the end, people will like you more and more. But social skills can take time to learn, and you might need to put in some effort to make sure that you actually apply these to your everyday life as well. By subscribing and following our channel, you will improve your social skills in no time, and you'll be able to navigate the labyrinth of this incredible dating world in no time.